The article comes to us from CBR. HBO's The Last of Us Season 1 adapts the first game's story. So, the first season of HBO's The Last of Us series will adapt the story of the original video game, though there will be a few deviations, courtesy of your friend and mine, Neil Druckmann. The article states that while the HBO series plot points and even some, look at this choice of words, some of its dialogue will be familiar to fans of the game, the show is also poised to take some unexpected turns. OMG, are you going to subvert my expectations of what was probably one of the best narrative video games ever made? The Last of Us is being written and executive produced by Craig Mazin. You'll know that name because he actually was the creator of the show Chernobyl, who of course will develop alongside Neil Druckmann, the creative director, co-director, and co-writer of the Last of Us video game series. This is, I would say, a sin of omission. Let's be honest here. Neil Druckmann made The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us, the first one, was a collaboration that included Amy Hennig, who, if I'm not mistaken, and based upon what I've read, was pushed out the door to make way for Mr. Subvert Your Abby Smash Expectations. So the HBO adaptation received a series order in November of last year, and it was revealed that Game of Thrones alum Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal would take on the roles of Ellie and Joel. In my opinion, this just shows you what Hollywood looks at. Pascal was in The Mandalorian was a success, so make him Joel. In a recent interview with IGN, Druckmann explained that he and Mazin, quote, talked at length about how Season 1 would cover the events of the first Last of Us video game. He said, quote, "The philosophical underpinnings of the story, unquote, are their priority as far as writing the adaptation is concerned. Quote, as far as the superficial things, like would a character wear the same plaid shirt or the same red shirt, they might not appear in it. And that's way less important to us than getting the core of who these people are and the core of their journey," unquote. Druckmann went on to explain that even those familiar with the original game, its story and its dialogue will be surprised. Will be surprised by certain episodes of the TV show, though specifics are obviously being kept under wraps. I have the sneaking suspicion this TV show is going to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to serve Neil Druckmann's narrative around The Last of Us Part 2. Quote, "Some things stay pretty close. It's funny to see my dialogue there from the games in the HBO scripts," he said, "and sometimes they deviate greatly to much better effect because we are dealing with a different medium," unquote. Should we expect anything different than what we got in The Last of Us Part 2? Agenda, identity politics, expectations being subverted in a way that was almost cruel to the original fans of the series. The Screen Rant article wraps up with saying that The Last of Us original game was released exclusively for PlayStation 3 back in 2013. Obviously, the sequel, much maligned, much disappointing, Last of Us Part 2 was released as a PS4 exclusive in June of last year. It was set 5 years after the events of the original game and featured Ellie as one of two playable protagonists. Look at what Screen Rant does to this. Two playable protagonists, the other being a new character named Abby. Yes, that's all that they say. They're just going to say that. They give no history as to how the game was received, to how the sales compared with, say, Ghost of Tsushima. Just, it stops right there. I guess the only question now is what identity politic and intersectional feminism targets is Neil going to bring us in the on-screen version? Why do I have the feeling they are going to overlay Abby's origin story right out of the gate? What do you think Neil Druckmann's going to do with The Last of Us? Tell me in the comments below. I'm Corey B, and this is Salty Salish Sea.